Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and wow, do I have a story for you today. Before we get into this absolute roller coaster of family drama, I need you to stop what you're doing right now because this story is going to make your blood boil. It's going to make you question everything about family dynamics. And honestly, it's probably going to make you want to stand up and applaud by the end. We're talking about entitled family members, broken promises, a child's broken heart, and the most savage yet perfectly justified response I've heard in a long time. So hit that subscribe button, smash the like, turn on notifications, grab your snacks, maybe some popcorn, because you're going to want to hear every single detail of this story. Trust me when I say this is the kind of content that reminds us why setting boundaries with family is not just okay, it's absolutely necessary sometimes. Alright, let's set the scene here. This story comes from someone we'll call Sarah, and Sarah has been dealing with a toxic family dynamic for years. Now, before we dive deep into the main event, we need to understand the background because context is everything in situations like this. Sarah has a son, let's call him Jake, who just turned 7 years old. Sarah also has a brother, we'll call him Mark, who is the golden child of the family. You know the type, right? The one who can do no wrong, the one who gets all the attention, all the support, all the resources, while everyone else is just expected to fall in line and be supportive no matter what. So here's where our story really begins. Sarah spent weeks planning Jake's 7th birthday party. She sent out invitations to the entire family well in advance. We're talking about a month before the actual event. She wanted to make sure everyone had plenty of notice, could clear their schedules, and could be there to celebrate this milestone with her son. Sarah went all out for this party. She rented a venue at a local indoor playground, ordered a custom cake with Jake's favorite superhero on it, bought decorations, planned games and activities, sent out those invitations with all the details clearly marked, and most importantly, she got Jake excited about having his whole family there to celebrate with him. Jake was over the moon excited about this party. He kept talking about how grandma was going to come, how his uncles and aunts would be there, how his cousins would play with him. This kid was counting down the days. He drew pictures about his birthday party at school. He told all his friends that his whole family was coming. You know how kids get when they're excited about something, right? It's pure, genuine joy. Sarah watched her son's excitement grow day by day, and she was happy that she could give him this experience. Now here's where things start to get messy. About 2 weeks before Jake's birthday party, Sarah's mother called her. Her mom mentioned that Mark, Sarah's brother, was planning his graduation party for the same weekend. Mark was graduating from college, which is definitely an achievement worth celebrating. Nobody's denying that. But here's the thing. Mark's graduation party was scheduled for the same day, at the same time as Jake's birthday party. Not similar timing, not a few hours off, literally the exact same day and time. Sarah was confused. She reminded her mother that she had sent out Jake's party invitations a month ago. Everyone knew about Jake's party. The family had already confirmed they were coming. Her mother's response was, well, disappointing but not surprising. She told Sarah that Mark's graduation was a bigger deal, that it was a once-in-a-lifetime achievement, and that surely Sarah could understand that the family needed to prioritize Mark's celebration. She suggested that maybe Sarah could move Jake's party to a different day, or even just have a small celebration at home instead. Let me just pause here for a second because this is where my blood starts to boil. A child's birthday party was planned first. Invitations were sent. Commitments were made, and now Sarah is being asked to change everything or downgrade her son's celebration because the golden child decided to schedule his party at the exact same time without any consideration for what was already planned. This is the kind of favoritism and disrespect that creates lifelong resentments in families, and honestly, it's completely unfair to both Sarah and especially to little Jake. Sarah tried to explain to her mother that she had already paid deposits for the venue, that she couldn't get her money back, and that Jake was so excited about the party. She asked if maybe Mark could move his party by a few hours, or maybe to the evening, so that family members could attend both events. Her mother's response was firm. No, Mark's party was staying as scheduled, and the family would be attending Mark's graduation celebration. Sarah needed to be understanding and supportive of her brother. So Sarah made a decision. She decided not to cancel or move Jake's party. She had made a commitment to her son, and she was going to keep it. She called the family members individually to remind them about Jake's party and to let them know she hoped they could still make it. Most of them were apologetic, but said they would be going to Mark's graduation party instead. Some of them suggested Sarah bring Jake to Mark's party so he could at least see everyone, completely missing the point that it was supposed to be Jake's special day. The day of the party arrived, and it was heartbreaking. Sarah's parents didn't show up. Her brother Mark obviously didn't show up. Her aunts and uncles, with the exception of one aunt who felt terrible about the situation, didn't show up. Jake's cousins weren't there because their parents chose Mark's party. Jake kept asking where Grandma was, where Uncle Mark was, where his cousins were. Sarah had to watch her 7-year-old son's face fall as he realized that most of his family wasn't coming to his birthday party. Now, to Sarah's credit, she didn't let Jake see how upset she was. She smiled, she played games with him, she made sure he had fun with the friends from school who did show up. But inside, she was devastated and furious. This wasn't just about hurt feelings. This was about her family showing Jake that he wasn't a priority, that he didn't matter as much as his uncle. That's a horrible message to send to a child, and it's something that could have lasting effects on how Jake sees himself in relation to the family. After the party, Sarah didn't hear from her parents for a few days. No phone call to ask how the party went, no apology for missing it, nothing. When her mother finally did call, it wasn't to check on Jake. It was to tell Sarah all about how wonderful Mark's graduation party had been, how proud everyone was of him, and how it was such a special day for the family. Sarah listened in disbelief. Her mother didn't even ask about Jake's party until Sarah brought it up, and when she did, her mother's response was dismissive. She said something along the lines of, "Well, Jake is young, he'll have plenty more birthdays, but Mark only graduates college once." That comment right there shows everything you need to know about the family dynamics at play. Jake's feelings, Jake's experience, Jake's childhood memories, none of that mattered as much as making sure the golden child got his spotlight. And Sarah was just expected to accept this, to be understanding, to put her own child's emotional well-being aside for the sake of family harmony, which really means maintaining the status quo where Mark gets everything and everyone else gets whatever's left over. Now, let's fast forward about 2 months. Sarah's mother called her again, and this time she had a request. Actually, let's call it what it really was, a demand. Mark was planning a big trip to Europe as a graduation present to himself. He wanted to go backpacking through several countries, visit historical sites, experience different cultures, all that stuff. The problem was, Mark didn't have enough money saved up for this trip. So the family had decided to pool together money to help make Mark's dream trip a reality. Here's where it gets really audacious. Sarah's mother told her that the family had decided each household should contribute $2,200 toward Mark's trip. That's right, $2,200. Not a suggestion, not a request if she could spare a little something, but an expectation that Sarah would contribute this specific, substantial amount of money. Her mother explained that Mark really deserved this trip after working so hard in school, and that the family needed to come together to support him in celebrating this achievement. Sarah was stunned. $2,200 is not a small amount of money for most people. That's a significant chunk of change, and her family just expected her to hand it over for her brother's vacation without even really asking if she could afford it or if she was willing to contribute. But what really got Sarah was the sheer audacity of this request coming just 2 months after her entire family had blown off her son's birthday party to attend Mark's graduation party instead. Sarah asked her mother if she was serious. She reminded her that the family had all skipped Jake's birthday party. Her mother's response was to minimize what had happened. She said that Sarah was being dramatic and holding a grudge over something small. She said that Jake was fine. He didn't even remember that most of the family wasn't there, which Sarah knew was completely untrue because Jake had talked about it several times since the party. Her mother insisted that this was different. This was about supporting family and that Sarah needed to step up and do her part. Now, Sarah had to make a decision. She could either roll over and contribute the money to keep the peace, which is what her family clearly expected her to do, or she could stand up for herself and for her son. And I think we all know which choice makes for a better story, and, more importantly, which choice was the right one. Sarah told her mother she would contribute to Mark's trip. Her mother was pleased and probably thought that was the end of the discussion. A few days later, Sarah received a text message from Mark himself. He thanked her in advance for her contribution to his trip, listed out all the places he was planning to visit, and said he was excited to share photos with everyone when he got back. The entitlement was palpable. He didn't ask if she could afford it, didn't acknowledge that it was a big ask, just assumed that of course his sister would hand over thousands of dollars for his vacation. Here's where Sarah's revenge, and let's be honest, her justice, comes into play. When it came time to send the money, most of the family members were using a payment app to transfer their contributions directly to Mark. Sarah opened up the payment app, typed in Mark's username, and then in the amount field, instead of typing $2,200, she typed in $1. Just one single dollar. And in the message field, she wrote something simple but powerful. She said, "This is what my contribution is worth, just like Jake's birthday was worth to the family. Enjoy your trip." She hit send on that $1 payment. Can you imagine Mark's face when he got that notification? Can you imagine him opening his phone, expecting to see $2,200 from his sister, and instead seeing $1 and that message? The beauty of using the payment app is that other family members who are connected could potentially see the transactions or at least hear about them, which meant Sarah's statement was very public. Within an hour, Sarah's phone was blowing up. Her mother called, absolutely furious, demanding to know what Sarah thought she was doing. Her brother called, calling her petty and selfish. Other family members started chiming in, some saying she was being childish, others saying she was making a big deal out of nothing. Sarah stood her ground. She calmly explained to each person who called that she had spent weeks planning Jake's birthday party, that the entire family had committed to being there, and that they had all chosen to attend Mark's party instead, leaving a 7-year-old heartbroken. She explained that when her family decided that Jake's feelings and his special day didn't matter enough to honor their commitment, they sent a very clear message about priorities. She told them that if Jake's birthday was worth so little to them that they couldn't be bothered to show up, then why should she value Mark's vacation at $2,200? She was simply matching the energy that her family had given her son. If they wanted to treat Jake like he didn't matter, then they couldn't expect her to prioritize Mark's wants. The responses were mixed. Her mother tried the guilt trip approach, talking about how they were a family and families support each other. Sarah pointed out that support is a two-way street, and that when Jake needed his family to show up for him, they chose not to. She reminded her mother that being family doesn't mean one person gets everything while others get nothing. Her brother Mark tried to argue that his graduation was more important than a kid's birthday party. Sarah asked him if he remembered being 7 years old and how big birthdays felt at that age, and whether he thought it was fair to teach Jake that his uncle's parties would always matter more than his own. Some family members actually started to see Sarah's point. That one aunt who had attended Jake's party spoke up in Sarah's defense, saying that she had felt terrible about how the situation was handled and that maybe the family owed Sarah and Jake an apology. A few cousins also admitted that they felt bad about missing Jake's party, but had felt pressured to go to Mark's event instead because that's what the family elders had decided. But the core group, Sarah's parents and Mark himself, remained adamant that Sarah was in the wrong. They couldn't or wouldn't see that their actions had consequences. They couldn't understand that you can't treat someone poorly and then expect them to be generous and supportive when you need something from them. This is a fundamental lesson in relationships that apparently these adults had never learned. Sarah held firm. She didn't send any additional money. She didn't apologize. She simply maintained her boundary and her position. She explained that she loved her family, but that she also loved her son, and she wasn't going to teach him that it was okay to be treated as less important than others. She wasn't going to model for him that you should keep giving to people who don't respect you or value you. Now, let's talk about why this story resonates with so many people and why Sarah's response was not only justified, but actually necessary. First of all, this is a classic case of family favoritism taken to an extreme. Golden child syndrome is a real thing, where one child in a family can do no wrong and receives disproportionate amounts of attention, praise, and resources, while other children are expected to simply support the golden child without receiving the same consideration in return. This dynamic is toxic for everyone involved. It's obviously harmful to the children who aren't the golden child because they grow up feeling less valued and less important. But it's also actually harmful to the golden child because they develop an unrealistic sense of entitlement and an inability to empathize with others or understand that the world doesn't revolve around them. Mark's expectation that his sister would just hand over $2,200 without question shows exactly this kind of entitlement. The situation with Jake's birthday party was particularly cruel because children are the most vulnerable people in these family dynamics. Jake didn't do anything wrong. He didn't ask for his family to choose between his party and his uncle's party. He was just a 7-year-old boy who wanted his family to celebrate with him, and he learned that day that in his family's hierarchy of importance, he ranks pretty low. That's a devastating lesson for a child, and it's something that can shape how he sees himself and his worth for years to come. Sarah's decision to send $1 instead of $2,200 was what I would call proportional justice. She wasn't being cruel or vindictive. She was simply demonstrating through actions what her family had demonstrated through their actions. If her family's presence at Jake's party was worth nothing, then her financial contribution to Mark's luxury vacation was worth accordingly very little. This is actually a really healthy boundary to set because it says, I will treat you the way you treat me and my child. Some people might argue that two wrongs don't make a right, or that Sarah should have been the bigger person. But here's the thing, being the bigger person all the time, especially in family dynamics, often just means being the person who absorbs all the hurt and disrespect while never standing up for yourself. It means teaching your children that they should accept poor treatment from family members in the name of keeping the peace. That's not healthy. That's not actually what being the bigger person should mean. What Sarah did was set a clear boundary. She communicated through her actions that there are consequences for how you treat people. She showed her son that his feelings matter and that his mother will stand up for him even when it's uncomfortable or when it creates conflict. These are important lessons. Children need to see that boundaries are okay, that standing up for yourself is okay, and that you don't have to continue giving to people who take you for granted. The family's reaction to Sarah's $1 contribution is also telling. Instead of taking a moment to reflect on their own behavior and consider that maybe Sarah had a valid point, they immediately went on the attack. They called her petty, selfish, and childish. This is a classic deflection tactic. When people know they've behaved badly but don't want to admit it or change, they often try to make the person calling out the bad behavior into the villain. It's easier to attack Sarah than it is to acknowledge that they hurt Jake and that their favoritism toward Mark is unfair. The fact that Sarah's mother tried to claim that Jake didn't even remember or care that family didn't show up to his party is particularly manipulative. It's a form of gaslighting where someone tries to tell you that your perception of events or your feelings about what happened are wrong or invalid. Sarah knew that Jake had been affected by his family not showing up because he had talked about it multiple times. But her mother was trying to rewrite history to make the situation seem less serious than it was. What I love about this story is that Sarah didn't back down when faced with pressure from her family. That takes incredible strength because family pressure is one of the most difficult types of pressure to resist. We're socialized from childhood to value family above almost everything else, to forgive family members, to make sacrifices for family. And while family relationships can be wonderful and important, that doesn't mean that family members get a free pass to treat you poorly without consequences. Sarah's story also highlights the importance of prioritizing your own children and your own immediate family over extended family when necessary. Sarah's first responsibility is to her son, not to her adult brother. Jake's emotional well-being and the message she's sending him about his worth are more important than funding Mark's European vacation. This is something that parents sometimes struggle with, especially when dealing with family of origin, but it's a crucial distinction to make. Now, let's think about the long-term implications of this situation. For Sarah and Jake, this incident could actually strengthen their relationship. Jake will grow up knowing that his mother had his back, that she stood up for him even when it was difficult. That sense of being protected and valued by a parent is incredibly important for a child's development and self-esteem. Even if Jake doesn't fully understand all the details right now, as he gets older, he'll understand that his mother fought for him. For Mark, this could be a wake-up call, although whether he chooses to learn from it is up to him. He's being confronted with the reality that his entitlement and self-centeredness have consequences. Maybe he'll reflect on his behavior and grow from this experience. Or maybe he'll continue to expect everyone to cater to him and will be confused when people eventually get tired of it. For the family as a whole, this is a crossroads moment. They can either continue down the path of favoritism and denial, in which case Sarah and Jake will likely distance themselves over time, or they can actually examine their behavior and make changes. The family members who expressed some understanding of Sarah's position might be the ones who help bridge that gap if the family chooses to change. One thing that's important to note is that Sarah isn't saying she'll never have a relationship with her family again. She's not cutting them off completely. She's simply establishing that she won't be manipulated, guilted, or coerced into giving beyond what feels right to her based on how she and her son are treated. That's a mature and measured response. She's leaving the door open for relationship repair, but on terms that are equitable and respectful. This story also raises broader questions about family expectations around money. Why did the family think it was appropriate to essentially assign each household a specific dollar amount to contribute to Mark's vacation? That's already a pretty bold move. Asking for financial help is one thing, but telling people they're expected to contribute a specific large amount is quite another. It treats family members like atoms rather than individuals with their own financial situations, priorities, and decisions to make. The $2,200 figure is also interesting because it's substantial enough that it's clearly not just a token gift. That's real money that could pay for a lot of things. For Sarah, that could be money for Jake's education fund, for necessary household expenses, for their own family vacation, or simply for savings. The expectation that she should hand over that amount without question, especially after her son was snubbed, shows a fundamental lack of respect for Sarah's autonomy and her own family's need. What Sarah's story teaches us is that boundaries are healthy, consequences are appropriate, and standing up for yourself and your children is not only okay, but necessary. It teaches us that family relationships should be reciprocal, with respect, consideration, and effort flowing in both directions. It teaches us that keeping the peace at the expense of your own well-being or your child's well-being is not actually peaceful. It's just suppression of legitimate feelings and needs. For anyone watching this who relates to Sarah's situation, who has felt like the less favored child, who has watched their own children be treated as less important than other family members, I want you to know that it's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to protect your children from dynamics that could hurt them. You're not being petty or selfish when you stand up for yourself and your family. You're being a good parent and a person with healthy self-respect. So what do you think about this situation? Do you think Sarah did the right thing by sending just $1? Do you think she should have handled it differently? Have you ever been in a similar situation with family favoritism or with family members making unreasonable demands? I really want to hear your thoughts on this, because stories like this spark so many important conversations about family dynamics, boundaries, and self-respect. Drop your comments below and let's discuss this, because I know this video is going to resonate with a lot of you. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking with me through this entire story. I know it was a long one, but there was just so much to unpack here. If you enjoyed this content, if this story made you think or feel something, please hit that like button. It really does help the channel grow and helps me know what kind of content you want to see more of. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because I post stories like this regularly. Stories about family drama, revenge, justice, and people standing up for themselves. Share this video with anyone you know who might relate to it, or who needs to hear that it's okay to set boundaries with family. Sometimes we all need permission to put ourselves and our children first, and if this video can be that permission for someone, then I'm happy to be a part of that. Check out the other videos on my channel if you want more stories like this one. I've got a whole playlist of family drama stories that will make you laugh, cry, and cheer for people who finally stood up for themselves. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. Your comments, your stories, and your support mean everything to me. Remember, your worth is not determined by how family treats you, and setting boundaries doesn't make you the bad guy. Stand up for yourself, protect your children, and never feel guilty for demanding the respect and consideration you deserve. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep those boundaries strong, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, everyone.